All right, guys, this is the dilemma. Just doing a little more screening here. Didn't like how open it was down into this bedding area from the house and from the road. So we dropped those today. That's the elm I'm trying to work with, trying to drop it right there on the slope. But all I've got to do is use this one. The problem is, if I didn't explain that, that's an elm. The heartwood is holding on. I can't go through it any more than it already is. I'll show you that up close in a second. But this one is all I have to use as a tipping post. The problem is it's leaning hard at about 80 degrees from where I need it to go. So I'll get over here and show you this elm. Love to get this one on the ground. The buds are pushing right now. Almost got to be one of the #1 browse trees, but you can see there I don't really want to go through that anymore than it is. What I did uphill, and I tried to show you with the camera, is you always look at your tree at 90-degree angles to where it looks like it's leaning to see which way you've got the tilt. Okay, that's what you're working against. Typically, you should be able to, with wedges, habitat hook, but mainly with how you cut the hinge, you should be able to drop a tree roughly 90 degrees from where it's wanting to go. Now that of course depends on how severe the lean is, but for the most part, trees that you find in the woods that aren't massively crooked, think on that 90-degree angle. You should be able to get it to go that way if you properly set your hinge, okay? Now, properly setting your hinge, what I mean by that is, I want this tree to go that direction so that the top of this canopy hooks some branches up there and hopefully pulls that elm the rest of the way over. So I'm gonna set this edge, this hinge, right about here, looking down my bar at what angle that thing is gonna fall at. Okay, so here we go. Wish I could twirl this saw and slide it right in. All right, so you can see there that elm that I was trying to clip. And we got a really good hinge on this one. It did barber chair quite a bit, but you can see there's my angle. So perpendicular to that cut is where the tree is going to try to go. And you can see right here is where I had to just tweak the angle just a hair when I looked up and saw the canopy going to miss this elm. And if you're wondering why I didn't want to cut any more of this elm, here's a good view now of it, is that heartwood right on the inside there is what was holding so hard. And you can see the scarring on this elm. I don't know if it was a lightning tree way back in the day or what, but you can see the crack went all the way in there. And I didn't have very much left to go, so I didn't want to go any more than I already did. And the wedges just weren't pushing that heartwood aside as much. But you can see that one too went directly perpendicular to the cut that I had initially set. You can see from the angle up here, that is what sets your angle of where this tree is going to fall. So if you're in the forest, you obviously sometimes can only get an area started by dropping one canopy through a certain port. It's kind of like curling. So we're going to keep this moving here. Kid's going to get on this chainsaw and try his first couple of hinge cuts today with all the safety gear. But this is the meander that we're trying to do, and you can hear cars up there, but you can see we're 50 yards from the road. Look at that. The first 2 years we were here, there was nothing in this area. So it's always detail work, guys. I mean, once you get the trees on the ground, you do have to go in and see what they're using, what they're not using, and, you know, improve your screening. And I found that they liked laying at the base of this hill this year, and So I gave them a little more up the slope, and I'll probably even do some switchgrass up by the yard there just to screen us off a little more. But this should go a long ways towards screening in that house and making them feel comfortable moving around down here in the daytime. And then back underneath here is going to be the detail work this year, because that's where the doe had her fawn in there last year. So we're going to get moving here. I'll give you guys another tour of this place maybe later in the summer or even later this spring when we come back in and kill some canary grass, evil stuff, and get some more of our goldenrod going. This is Jake Little, Habitat Pro. Get out and enjoy creation, guys. God bless.